So it is Friday, the 30th of August, 2024. It's just around 76 degrees in terms of a temperature, Fahrenheit. Um, so, for those of you who have lived in Queens, I had to take care of some business in the Kew Gardens area. So, I was away for the most part of the morning. So, when I got back, I was thinking to myself, whilst I was eating my lunch, what could I see? What's going on YouTube? And something said, you know what? Tune in to the Guyanese Critic and see if anything is new. Most times during that live, I'm not available for those lives. So if something happens, I may try to watch back at the replay. So I decided to replay the Guyanese Critic live that was on this morning. There were two segments that stood out for me. In the Guyanese Critic morning live this morning, the first was a gentleman calling out about a grant. I should say a music grant, granting out to someone who this person is alleging is not playing any particular role in the music industry in Guyana. And looking at the countenance of the Guyanese Critic, the realist thing coming out of Guyana, to me, like he was a bit stumped, unsure, because if the allegation that this person is making is true, opposition people are saying friends and family, that kind of stuff. So the critic is saying that he will have to launch his own investigation. The caller says he already has evidence to show. And I think he was even saying that he was reported on Facebook. He was reported to Facebook because he made certain damning allegations. So the Guyanese Critic is saying that he's going to do his own investigation. But the show even got a bit more dramatic, because while the critic is speaking to this caller, a call comes in on critic's phone, and he tells the person, okay, I have to cut you off, I have an important call coming in. Lo and behold, apparently it's probably his lawyer, or probably someone connected to his lawyer. He was supposed to be in court this morning via Zoom. But instead of being in court via Zoom, he was doing his live show unknown. Probably, I don't know if he forgot or he made a mistake in terms of the timing. So instead of him being in court via Zoom, he was doing his usual morning live. And that is what the person that called him interrupted that call against the person concerning the music grant. Eventually, he asked his operator to access the Zoom, and there it was. A lot of people, I guess, this morning are watching Critic in court this morning on Zoom, and that is in the matter SIMONA, BROOMES versus MIKHAIL, RODRIGUES. So people were treated to a Zoom segment of court. I don't know if what the Guyanese Critic, if he did the right thing by broadcasting us live during his morning show. I'm certain the magistrate may have something to say about that. What I do know is that I believe he has to apologize to the court for not joining the court on time in connection with the Zoom. So those are the two things that was a bit intriguing for me, watching the realist thing coming out of Guyana. There was other subjects he later went over, but you guys, if you want to see the show, you can go back on YouTube or even Facebook, and you will see his full morning live. But I just wanted to share and highlight these two segments of what took place on the Guyanese Critic morning live. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be playing the video of the person making the allegation about the music grants. I'm going to play a segment of that call, and then I'm going to play a segment of Critic joining the court via Zoom. Hope you guys have a pleasant Friday afternoon, a pleasant Friday evening. Until next week.
A gentleman collected a grant, although he had absolutely nothing to do with the music industry whatsoever.
What's his name?
And his name is Richard Bahini.
You know how much money he collect?
No, we are unable to source the amount of that grant.
How did you know that he got money?
Because he stated that on a newsroom report himself.
And you're suggesting somebody went in the news, collected a grant that are for musicians. What are the criteria for being a musician, an artist?
No, the grants, based on what it is, all right? If it's for music, then those individuals who are involved in music, producers, writers, artists, people who surround the music business are the people who can possibly apply for these grants. However, that grant was issued to somebody who, one, had no affiliation, had no part in the music business, and was working at newsroom. That's quite clear.
So what about if he's a producer of music? What about if he is an entrepreneur?
Okay, but he's not a producer of music. Even if you're an entrepreneur, how do you get a grant for the music business if you're not involved in the music business?
No, but I'm trying to understand how can you decipher if he's involved. Like me down here, I want to make a song with this banner. We buy from Blackbush. What we buy name? Mystic. I want to make song for Mystic. I done got some Cameron, so. Right? Let me say walk in here. And I apply for this grant and say going into the music thing and I can make a song with Mystic and I'm genuinely planning to do that. What excludes me from my acclamation to fame in the music industry?
Good. Now, nothing excludes you if you see what you're pointing out there is your clear involvement and engagement with the music industry.
Okay.
Isn't that so?
Yeah, it could be listed as
no,
that. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, where is Mr. Richard Bahini's? What work? What association? Because people in the music, when people, they either are persons who are producers, people linked in the industry as managers, some sort of association to the music business. All right? Mm-hmm. That's how people get those type of grants. Now, Mr. Bahini was a reporter at Newsroom. A reporter. How does he source, or under which criteria does he get a grant? And to top it all off, fine, he got the grant. Where is the work? Because after 2 years, there's only one page of which they call a web page, because certain people in the ministry don't understand the difference between websites and web pages. So are you telling me they gave Richard Bahini a grant to create a web page? Because all that is there after 2 years.
Okay.
Miss Glasgow, can you hear the lawyer clearly?
Not clearly, please, madam. Could I ask him to kindly use the mic? Or,
Yes, well, my friend on the other side would have...
Sorry, madam, I still can't hear anything.
Mr. Glasgow, I know that you are relatively new in the matter. You weren't here at the last court occasion. But
Yes.
Mr. Dacton was here. He had indicated that he was going to discuss the possibility of a settlement with the claimant. And I'm understanding that no discussions came forward since the last court date on the 16th of July. Are those your instructions from Mr. Dacton?
No, please, madam. My only instructions was that were that Mr. Rodrigues would have apologized publicly in lieu of a settlement, madam. But there's been nothing. Nothing has been materialized. I think since the last court occasion.
Right, but I'd also given you a deadline because remember we wanted to know if you were not going to settle, we were going to set down timelines for the filing of witness statements so that we could go to trial. And the court order on the last occasion Mr. Dacton was present said that you had until the 30th of July to consider a settlement, right? Sign that settlement agreement. But if there was no settlement, that all witness statements were to be filed by the 14th of August. You have the court's orders from the last occasion?
Yes, madam. Madam, the witness statement was filed and served on the parties.
Right, so we're not proceeding with the settlement anymore, correct?
And
those your instructions?
Those are not my instructions, madam.
Mr. Rodriguez, could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, Your Worship.
It's frozen now? Right. Could you unmute your microphone, please?
Yes, Your Worship.
Right. Since the last court date, did your lawyer report to you what happened on the last court date when he was here on your behalf?
A request was made for me to provide some bit of evidence for a filing of a defense.
You've already filed a defense. You're at a stage where we are at witness statements or settlement.
Madam,
Right.
I believe you made a witness statement because I have a copy of that document here. Dated
Right.
the
So
14th of.
I just want a direct instructions from your client that there is no possibility of a settlement so that we can proceed with the statements and set a trial date.
Well, madam, we were hoping that something would have been proposed or we would have heard something from the claimant, but we have not.
And the claimant is claiming that she was waiting for the proposal in relation to the settlement.
My worship, there might have been some bit of a mix-up because
It appears so. Maybe I should have specified who was the call, who at what time.
Yes, please, madam. That might have been more helpful. But madam, could I ask for a short adjournment to facilitate that? Now
Right,
that
I
we
can
know.
grant you an adjournment now. You could consider it. I will step out of court and give you 15 minutes and I'll be back.
Certainly, madam. I'll
Hold
call
on.
my learned friend. I'll call my learned friend to see what is their proposal